Welcome to the World United. Welcome to the World United.
Yeah, our next speaker is John Wong. I hope I pronounce it correctly. John Wong majored in molecular genetics and was in forensic sciences work. His previous career since 1997 were in assisting agencies on forensics of food safety, environmental, criminal, drug discovery, and bioterrorism. He is the author of Awaken Your Healing Power, which is on iTunes and Amazon. In 2005, he was paralyzed, full neck down, axon degenerated, and lost his eyesight with retina degenerated by large portion. His book is forwarded by doctor of state hospital and was on TV and media for some time. Miraculously, beyond physician expectations, he is now teaching people to self heal via plant based and nature. He is actively experimenting social enterprise model to create sustainable development that sustains body, family, finance, economics, and environment holistically. He runs his own naturopathic healing centers in Asia and is also a principal of internationally recognized aromatherapy school professional certification. He is a divine master actively bringing people to practice Qigong beneath ocean and increase human awareness of ocean conservation. He believes that healing human thought process and earth are far vitally upstream than the body itself, which is the final predicament of former two. Over to you, John. We welcome you. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivian. Could you kindly just put me as a host so that I can share my slides? Thank you. So I can share screen. Am I able to share the screen right now, Vivian?
I think so. You can do it.
Durjay, can you make all the speakers co-host, please?
All right, then. Okay. So I will share with... Thank you so much, Vivian, for your presentation. I hope everyone can see the slides. I guess Vivian has already shared what I have want to say. I'm not going to give much technical stuff today, so I'm just going to share with you myself how I cope with my disability. I guess you can see that I kind of look normal and I've been very active. Basically, in short, I was paralyzed neck down, and I lost my sensation and my organ malfunction, and as well as I went blind. Okay, so they couldn't give a diagnosis to my condition, and they found that it's like kind of 5 kind of neurological disease diagnosis combined into one, and that was in 2005. So they couldn't find any proper diagnosis, so they cannot be sure of what kind of treatment they gave me. But nevertheless, they found out that my retina, at the back of my retina, has degenerated to up to 80%. And the medical result is attached to the book, which I publish in Amazon.com and iTunes worldwide. They are in multiple languages as well. They found out that my nerves, the axon, has degenerated. Okay, which is the chances of recovery can be very slim. It can be like 0.01%. Most of the neurological degeneration, they occur on the myelin sheath, which is the outer layer. All right. Okay. Let's.
John Wong, can you try to screen share, please? You are already a co-host. You can do that.
All right. Screen share. Okay, so can you see my slide right now?
No, once you share, then only we can see. You are not shared.
I've not shared. This is strange. Okay, just give me a minute.
You try on the footer, you can see the share screen button. Click on that.
Click on that. Let me see. Footer. I couldn't see at the footer. I'm using an iPad. I can click share screen over here and start broadcast. Okay, got it. Let me see. All right, I'm sharing right now. Done.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you can see. Okay, so can you see the slides right now?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay,
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry about that just now. So anyway, so today the talk is about spirituality and disability management. My condition, in short, some of you are medical doctors here, so my nerves were extensively damaged. So medically and technically, for example, like at the back of my retina were 80% damaged. So technically, I'm blind. So I'm blind, basically, if you ask every eye specialist. I'm driving today, and I'm riding bicycle, and I'm diving. So what happened? Because of my scientific background, and I've been a very logical person, I know that it's not easy for people to have miracles. Good people pray, and good people still die. So I make a vow that to the Creator or to the Source that that I understand. I say that I understand that good people die. Good people still pray and they still die, and they may not have their prayer answered. But I'm asking for this, that I would like this miracle to happen to my life, for the reason that the eyes and the hands and my leg, if were to regain, they do not belong to me anymore. It belongs to His will. Now, in 2005, I do not know what is His will. I wasn't in the spiritual and holistic arena. I was like a normal person, have a scientific mind and career-minded. But I was very sincere about it. And there wasn't any sudden miracle happen to my life. It took me about 1.5 years to 4 years to regain my functionality. And so what happened was that who I am today, when you're seeing me normal, people were taught that I recovered suddenly, But I say no. And there were other stories where people would have already recovered suddenly, but not me. And I had this conversation with the Source, and the message he gave me is that I have said that I want to use my life to serve His will. And I was asking, why can't I recover fast enough? Like suddenly, there was like people who just walk suddenly, right? And it took me 4 years to somehow be kind of somewhat functional. And the answer goes like, you are supposed to use your human ways in your human effort to rebuild your life. And that has spiritual humility insight. Because even the Buddha, he departed because he drank a milk that is contaminated, and that the vulnerability of being a human it has to be displayed to people around us. And why I talk about the Buddha is because there are a lot of other Buddhist masters. They sit there and they can just be gone, right? They can foretell the future, but in spite, many Buddhist masters still acknowledge Lord Shakyamuni as the teacher, even though he had an accident of food poisoning. The vulnerability of the human body displayed here is to remind us that to be human, that's a form of spiritual humility that we can ponder. Now, coming back to myself, there wasn't any magic that I walk out of the hospital the next day. It took me 4 years in reconstructing myself in a human way. But in spite of that, the doctor, they don't even believe that I can recover to the extent of myself, like myself today. So, in short, my spine were damaged, loss of sensations, my torsos and peripheral limbs were affected, my organs were affected, my eyesight were affected, and the book is forwarded by my state general hospital. They were the one who asked me to write this book. The strange thing is that they do not, in Singapore, they are very sensitive and they are very strict about it, but it seems like a divine arrangement. Is forwarded by the head of the department. They asked me to write this book. I put a lot of a connotation of spirituality inside, and strange enough, it happened. The word transcendental connection is channeled to me for good reason. And when people ask me, is there a technique that you do that you recover, or is there a technique that you can share? I say there is none. It's a way of life. So let's go back a little bit. Okay, let's go back a little bit. Oh, a bit faster. Yeah, I'm clumsy, right? All right. So what happened to me now? I can't see clearly still, but I'm driving. I have problem walking down the stairs because I couldn't feel the ground. The proprioception is really poor. The way I stand and I move use different kind sets of muscles. I get my joints get sore and my muscle get cramped very easily. The muscles and the nervous system seems to work differently, and I tend to use the wrong sets of muscles and worsen my joint pain every day. So to add more injury, I had a lot of sports injury in the past. So it's kind of a double whammy. So my joints and my nerves and my muscles are really not functioning in optimal or normally. And on top of that, I had my previous sports injury. So I had a lot of pain in my joints and my body. And I lost my ability of orientation even until now. So while I'm talking to you, you probably think that I'm normal, but I kind of see the world very differently. And I have to cope with how I do things differently. Even like walking, standing, like having a meal. But saying that, while my perceptions, my sensory perceptions change, other parts of my body perceptions, they start to heighten up. So many times people with disability, they have other form of perceptions heightened to compensate. So probably that is the reason why I become more intuitive, and I'm doing what I'm doing right now. I have a licensed clinic in Singapore. I have a school, and I'm doing research in doing research in metaphysics, okay, ontology, human civilizations, basically about life. And so what I'm trying to say is that when I'm sharing with you my personal experience here, I hope that you can share it to your friends who are handicapped or have some disability, that do not get discouraged when you allow yourself to open up more and more. It is also a practice. I'm still learning that other sense of perceptions or other part of your body and your abilities will start to increase to compensate what you can do. Now, I'm going to give you an example here, right? I am right now an assistant dive instructor. I'm a dive master. Now, when I was learning diving, I have problem coordinating. I'm clumsy. I'm a clumsy person. My children say I have butter fingers. I spill cups and soup all over the place. When I eat my dinner, I have rice over my mouth, and I dirty my shirt until now. So my orientation and my coordination is poor. And going into the oceans is a problem for me because I can't see well. And you have to coordinate your equipments and try to fix your equipment, adjust your equipments, and move your body and fight the current, which is very daunting for me. So, and the worst thing is that in the oceans, you're like in the space, your orientation is lost because it's zero gravity. That actually caused a lot of anxiety in me, and that caused a lot of struggle. However, I took this process to want to get close to the nature and want to learn my own biology, how I can evolve to be part of the nature. So that is how I tell myself and to the world and to the ocean. And I have been a very slow student, and but somehow I never in my life I can swim in the open ocean. 400 meters by myself with nothing, okay, with no floats and nothing, and I now bring people to the ocean to appreciate how oceans sustain the whole planet, and also to teach them how to perform certain movement, breathings and yogas or qigong in the oceans. I'll show them where are the good energy streams that we can hold the energy there. So I probably seems like I'm the first guy who do this because not many people do scuba diving. But that kind of has helped me to evolve and discover this aspect. So I'm still a lousy scuba diver. My eyesight is poor. My orientation is poor, but I learned to be more extra careful, and I have more. I have to take effort to do more calculated risk and assessment for everything I do. And by doing so, people like myself, which by right I'm not supposed to learn scuba diving legally, but I didn't declare. But so I now dive. I realize that there are many aspects of our life that can able to compensate from our own body ability to cope with the surrounding. So let me go to the next picture, and then I learn free diving, which is worse because I don't have anything. I have to hold my breath, and I cannot differentiate what is up and what is down. So these are the things that I'm trying to learn, and somehow it has a rehabilitative effect, positive effect and development to people like us neurologically, and it has helped me. And I must tell you something. Every time when I go into the ocean, my vision become almost normal. It has something to do with the earth energy, the Schumann wave, and other elements that I felt inside the oceans. So, but and it lasts for a few days, and then when I back on land, I just go back to, my poor vision again. So I have brought people into the oceans. I've seen tumors just shrank by 30% away in just 3 days. Autoimmune diseases kind of reversed. So it's pretty amazing. And I'm flying a plane with a leading pilot, of course. This is in Mount Crater in US. And I just want to show you a video of myself riding a mountain bike. I hope that...
a bit faster, yeah.
Okay.
Good. Lunch.
So I have difficulty coordinating. Remember, I couldn't feel the pedal, and I couldn't see very well. And inside the forest is pretty dark. I have to use memory, a different way of spatial orientation and memorization, and body movement to compensate how I ride my bicycle. So riding a bicycle to me is a struggle, because when I go into the forest, I couldn't see well when it becomes dark. And I couldn't feel the pedal because the ground is uneven and there are rocks and roots and drops which are dangerous. So I have to learn how to cope and how to assess and how to have a safety measurement during my exercise. Now, in conclusion, okay, I have shared with you how I have coped with as a patient with neurological impairment. So where does the spirituality comes in? I think the spirituality comes in this is a process, it's a journey of discovery, and that is defined as evolution as well. That is also how we evolve as a human being, and also understand ourselves and the environment in a much more intimate way. Because of my disability, I have to pay very special attention to things around me. And that humble and very simple process as such, to me, is spirituality, because it's about discovering ourselves. It's about knowing more and more about life. And there is a lot of new things that we yet to discover about what potential lies in our life. So with that, I would like to end my sharing, and I'll hand over to Vivian. Thank you very much, Vivian.
So thank you very much, John Wong. So may I have his certificate to be displayed, please?
John, please, you have to stop screen share.
Okay, I will do that. Done.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is a token of appreciation from the World United. The World United proudly presents John Wong for being an esteemed presenter in the 3rd edition of the World Parliament on Spirituality 2020 Asia. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks.